Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It is time to go through another leak which has come out from the dev server specifically. The dev server did just get updated, so I'll cover some of the stuff from it today for you, and also at the same time a few other things, a few other pieces of news that have been around. But this leak is about vehicles that aren't on the dev server, but at the same time will probably come to the game in the future. I'll leave a link to the Discord where you will find this leak, and also all of the others that they'll do, plus the data mines that are about, and at the same time been putting a lot of effort into this dev server, and it's definitely causing a bit of fatigue, so thank you guys for your support, and also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Right, let's get into the vehicles, let's see what's there. So the first vehicle is of the Yuri class, and it is indeed the Yuri. This seems to be another LCS boat, which has been lended to the Japanese in the post-war era. It's one that actually went through a bunch of different people, but ended up in the Japanese hands. Basically, it's exactly the same as the other LCSs. You have two sets of twin Bofors, you have some rocket launchers on the front of it, also some 50 cals and 20mm over it too. I don't know what the difference is between this one and the standard LCS, it seems pretty similar. The next vehicle is the LCG M101. This stands for the Landing Craft Gun Medium Mark I, and this is the British version of the L9059, which is coming to the French tech tree. There's really not too many differences between them. Basically, these LCGs were designed to give fire support, well, to landing craft, and this meant that they had some pretty big guns on them, including the 25-pounders, which could be used from longer range in order to support people moving in. They also had different variants of them, so this is probably where the 101 comes from. The early model of them had 17-pounders on them instead of 25, but then also those versions which had the 95mm howitzer, but this one was not accepted into service, so it's probably going to be very hard to see that one. They also had some Lewis machine guns and also some Oerlikons too, plus it did also have all of the armor on it as well, which is quite nice. So what you're basically seeing is a British version of that ship we had a look at the other day, which is pretty cool. We also have another Abdil class, which is the Manxman. Now, the Manxman would be the second Abdil that we have in the game. We already have one, which is, well, the HMS Abdil. And at least from what I can tell, they basically look the same. So they have the same armament with the 6 QF 4-inch guns in the twin mounts. Also, the 4 2-pounders in quad mounts, which would be around the place too. And then also, at the same time, you have the Vickers machine guns as well. So I don't know what would be different between this one, maybe depth charges, since, you know, both of them were designed to be mine layers, but they could add other stuff too. Maybe that's the difference, but I feel like this one could just be like a premium version of the standard Abdil. There are also 2 more additions to the French coastal, the VTB-10 and also the VTB-12. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to the VT series, the A's and also the B's, it is kind of confusing the difference between them, and you can kind of see that in the game as well. So there is a website, worldwar2ships.com. This has kind of a rundown of the differences, but they're not huge. So what I'm going to do is just read that out for you. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to learn a bit more about the French coastal stuff, but this is what it says. The VTB-10 was designed and built by Ateliers et Chantiers de la Loire and intended to make 45 knots at 21 tons with 4 650 Hispano Suiza engines, 650 horsepower that is, and 2 side-dropping torpedoes. Unladen, the boat made 55 knots on trials, and then the VTB-11 and 12 were similar, apart from their engines, which were dual 1100 horsepower Lorraine engines. So basically, the 11 and 12 are basically the same. I think we have the 11 already in the coastal tree, so that should be, you know, just the same vehicle, and the 10 should be a bit slower than both of them. The VB-10 was decommissioned before the start of the Second World War, but the 12 kind of has an interesting history. So it was transferred to the UK for rearming for anti-submarine work at the start of the Second World War, but then it was recalled to take part in the Dunkirk evacuation unarmed apart from 2 machine guns. It then returned to the UK to complete rearming in June 1940 and was requisitioned by the Royal Navy in July of 1940. It then became the MGB-99. It was lost in April of 1945, and basically the vehicle didn't survive the war, so that kind of sucks. There's also 2 things which are labeled as playable vehicles, which is kind of interesting. You have the DJI Mavic 2 and also the Parrot Anafi. Both of these things are camera drones, so they aren't attack drones, and my guess is they're going to start making it so the recon drone is going to be more, I suppose, nationalized. So you'll have different models of it which will be used by different countries. And I think that'll be pretty cool. It would be nice to actually see that, and this is the first step towards that, which would be really cool. So yeah, there's 2 drones which are going to be coming in. Neither of them have weaponry, so yeah, it literally has to be for recon. And just remember, we do have vehicles in the game right now that have kind of like either drone launchers or drone areas where they're supposed to hold them, but they don't right now. You also have 2 decorations. The first one is RoboCat, so I don't know whether they're going to do something weird for that, so such an event to do with kind of a robotic cat, or maybe something that is around it. And then the other one is the Tuheo Hey Girl. No idea what that is, but I think it's something to do with China. So if I remember, Tuheo is a interesting kind of Chinese thing. Let's just have a look. It's Tuhao if you want to have a look. And yeah, it's a Chinese term referring to people of wealth. So the term has several related and differing definitions throughout time. In its original literary form, it refers to those of prominent and wealthy backgrounds. In modern use, the term has also become a popular slang used to design nouveau riche, or rich. Pejoratively, the internet slang can be understood to carry on the meaning of uncouth, nouveau, rich, tacky, or extravagant. So basically, wearing Burberry, I think, is probably the way to go, but Chinese style. So I'm guessing they're going to be doing some kind of Chinese event around that. Another part of the leaks is, of course, maps. We haven't had any maps this new update, instead just several changes to pre-existing maps. And the 3 maps that are in this leak are, first of all, the Falklands, which would be an air map, so revisiting the old enemy. And then also, you have 2 ground maps. You have West Germany, so once again, baby, we're going over the Fulda Gap, let's go. And then also Carthaginian Coast, which actually sounds quite nice, and also would be a ground map. So we already have a few maps for ground, which are based around the coast. Obviously Normandy, and then is it Carpathians? No, it's not Carpathians. The one which is in Italy that I always forget the name of. That one. And we'd have another one, which would be pretty cool. So hopefully that would be something that interests people. For me, new maps is always nice. I think they've been doing a pretty good job with new maps. The area that they've been struggling with is, of course, the updated maps. That has definitely taken a hit. But that's all the leaks for today, at least for now. There's always stuff going on. The dev server has just been updated, so I'm going to get my nose down to the ground and see what's going on. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.